Good afternoon. Welcome to the Nutz&Boltz Show. I'm Don.
And I'm Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah,
I'm
Don.
sure at this point of your life, you've probably had many times where you heard a ringing noise in your ear
I
or ears.
have. I heard it a couple minutes ago, actually.
Did you ever think about why that happens?
Uh no. Actually, no. Can you tell me?
Sure. I can tell you potentially why it happens. This is really important and kind of scary and very new. This just came out a few days ago that um, they called it a sonic attack or energy attack
What?
uh, near
What are
the
you talking about?
near the White House last November,
Mm,
and that it's a like a microwave effect. If you were to get in the microwave and give yourself a tan, you'd look great but be really dehydrated. And it causes this particular attack causes ear popping, vertigo, nausea, and a pounding headache.
so is this like top news or something?
It just came out on the major networks, yeah, and potentially it's something that could cause death, depending on how long it happens. Now, this is new to me. It just came out recently in the news, but not completely new because in 2019 there was actually another something similar happened in Virginia, and they believe that either Russia or some other country did the same exact thing to Cuba or China. So
Mm.
it is pretty interesting. I don't know what to make of it. There was a girl in Cuba at the time, an American ambassador, who they believe was targeted by this energy or sonic attack. She explained her head felt very tight, that she heard a whistling noise that I explained to you in the very beginning. Now, the if it is Russia or China or some other country, that'd be pretty significant. But there is another element, and I think the timing of this whole thing is kind of it's curious because in June the United States government is going to release, so-called release, everything that they know about UFOs.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think they're actually going to release everything that they know?
I don't trust the United States government at all, but that is what they are stating. And I think in some ways they have no choice because there's been a lot of leaks. And I don't know
Sure.
if you follow this, Sean, but recently there seems to be an uptick or a increase of strange sightings, and not by people like you and I, but by military. So when they're doing exercises, like during flight trainings or whatever, that these pilots have seen strange things and have followed it, and the maneuvers of these, whatever they are they say are unique and unlike anything they've seen before. So I don't know where that goes. I don't know if that means that other countries have surpassed us in some way with technology, and now they've got drones of some sort or whatever that have crazy maneuvers that could be used in war. Or, Sean, potentially maybe they are really aliens and they finally figured out, or they're finally going to come out and tell us that there is. And sadly, if they are alien beings, I believe they're probably here looking for their father, Joe Biden. We all know he's weird looking.
Wow. I don't know about that. Do you think there are aliens? Because I think that there probably are somewhere in the universe.
I think
Aliens. Or, well, we would call them aliens, but I guess they would call us aliens. So, what do you think?
I think it's maybe impossible is too strong a word for somebody, but I believe it's impossible for there not to be some sort of life out there somewhere.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I think that would be pretty cool if there were aliens. But if there were aliens, I really don't think they'd want to mess with Earth right now. I think they would think that we're pretty underdeveloped compared to them. What do you think?
Underdeveloped, uneducated. I don't know. It's not a good place to be.
I don't know. I'm just curious how they use their banks. If they have
Yeah.
banks like the United States of America, that'd be pretty cool.
Their
I don't know.
banks.
Yeah. What do you think?
I have no idea about that one. You think
I don't
they've
know.
got Chase Bank or Citibank out there and whatever?
Maybe they use Bank of America.
Do you think they have Powerade?
Maybe. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool if they did, though.
It would be something. Maybe that's where Elvis went, and now we're finally gonna, we're gonna realize that and find out the
He
truth.
died. He died while pooping.
That's what they say, Sean, but you have no idea. But those two are my first. That was my first story, or my story, and you've got a story to share as well.
I do. There is a man in Manhattan, New York, a guy named Julio Nievlo. He stole $1.6 million worth of gold in a bucket, and it was out of the back of an armored car truck. So there were two drivers. The one driver was in the building collecting their deposit, and the other one was supposed to be guarding the open bay of the truck, but he actually went inside the vehicle to get his phone out. And within that 22 seconds, a man named Julio Nievlo walked in, took a bucket worth $1.6 million worth of gold, and walked to his apartment over 22 blocks with a barrel worth over 1.6 million, weighing over 100 pounds. What do you think of that, Dom?
Did he have a bucket and a wheelbarrow with him?
There was no wheelbarrow. No, he just held it.
Where did the bucket come from?
The United States Mint, I believe.
So it was the bucket was in the armored car.
Correct. Yeah. A bucket worth $1.6 million carrying over 100 pounds of gold was in the back of an armored car. And the man named Julio Nievlo hung around. He saw the armored truck. He waited for an opening. Once he saw the opening, he took the bucket and started walking. It was over 20 blocks to his apartment. And he actually got interviewed by NBC News, and he called this his Super Bowl. He's a career criminal, a lot of petty thefts, a lot of little things. But this, I guess, was the tops of the tops for him.
I give Julio a lot of credit, to do what he did. That's pretty crazy. But if this is his Super Bowl, ultimately he lost.
Yeah, definitely. Because what he did was he tried to get the money out of the country. He was from Ecuador, born and raised, and he took the money back to Ecuador. But New York City's major crime task force actually tracked him down in Ecuador and is currently working on extradition. And I think the interesting thing is while they're doing this, he's actually doing interviews with United States-based news organizations. And he's getting paid for it.
Yeah, that figures, whatever. Now, did he walk all the way to Ecuador with that bucket?
He did not. He walked to his apartment over 22 blocks. And once he did that, he bought a saw and a couple other things from a local Home Depot. And in his apartment, he spent the entire night cutting down this block of gold, multiple actually, with this saw into small little bars, which were then portable and did not weigh over 100 pounds. And then he was able to sneak them onto an airplane into Ecuador, where he then was hoping to live his life. But New York Major Crime Task Force actually was able to track him down and is currently working on a resolution to the issue.
Now, did he pay for the saw with a block of gold, a bar of gold?
He did not, actually. But if he
That's
did,
hilarious.
yes, that would be pretty funny. And that probably would give it away. But he actually used cash.
He could have gone to Taco Bell, too. Here you go. I want my taco.
He could. He probably could. But the funny thing was throughout the night while he was trying to cut down these blocks of gold, he was actually filing pieces of gold, which were then small enough that they were in the air, and he was inhaling them, and they were all over his clothing, and they were all over his bed and everything that was in the room. So not really much as far as hiding evidence.
So a health issue as well.
I think so. I mean, if I inhaled gold, I don't think that would be pretty healthy. But I'd be
He's going
pretty
to be
rich.
very valuable after he passes, Sean.
Yeah, he probably would. So apparently the guy and his girlfriend who lived together recently had a large chunk of cash stolen from the apartment that the girlfriend lives in that he sometimes stays at. So when he found this bucket of $1.6 million in gold, which if you think about it, that's a lot of money in and of itself, more than most people would find in their lifetime. He thought, this is a way I can help my girlfriend. This is a way I can help my life and be set. But that was only if he didn't get caught. The sad thing was that there was a camera right above the truck. And as you can probably guess, since we know his name, we know where he is. they're tracking him down as we speak.
Unfortunate. Great story.
Thank you. Unfortunate for him, good for law-abiding citizens. It sucks when people think that they can just take things that don't belong to them and get away with it.
They're probably going to have to protect him once they put him into custody and wherever he spends his time from other inmates who are going to want to get inside his body to get the gold flakes.
Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea.
With the price of gold right now, Sean, those gold flakes are pretty important to some of these inmates.
Listen, you tell me. So if you're walking by, there's an armored truck open with a bucket of, you don't know what it is, but it's probably worth something since it's in the back of an armored truck and nobody's around it. What would you do? You take it?
No.
Why not?
That's just not who I am.
You're Don Roddy. What do you mean?
I would think, man, that'd be great to have, but no, I'm not like that.
What do you mean? You're not like that?
I would rather be poor than risk that.
What do you mean? You're only risking a felony.
Yeah, I know. Just a felony. And then if I'm filing these things, I ingest gold flakes. I'm going to have every criminal looking at me. I wonder what his insides have. I don't want that, Sean.
So guys, as you've heard, we had two very interesting stories. The first one about an attack on Washington, D.C., and the second one about a man who stole $1.6 million worth of gold out of the back of an armored truck in New York City. I thought it was pretty interesting. Don, I think, had fun as well. But what really matters is if you guys liked it. So if you did, make sure to let us know. Like, subscribe, comment, and feel free to let us know what you'd like to see. We call this, I guess, interesting news, funny news, crazy news, whatever. I don't know. But let us know what you guys like. But for Don and Sean, this was the Nuts and Bolts Show. And I'm Sean. See ya.
And Garth, although not for me, your taint tattoo is amazing. Later. And that was a presentation of the Nuts and Boltz Show.
Thanks for watching, guys. The Nuts and Boltz Show is on YouTube at The Nuts and Boltz Show, Twitter at The Nuts B, Facebook at The Nuts and Boltz, and you can listen to us on Spotify at The Nuts and Boltz Show. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe.